Cryptillians and crypto crackheads, today is Saturday, April 10th, and you're about to get halfway Timified. This is only half Timification. Hey, new viewers, this channel is a little bit different. I don't read white papers or interview CEOs. Those channels are good and fine. I don't do that. I don't try to get you excited about projects and emotionally excited to buy it. What I do on this channel is two things, which is not typical of a crypto YouTube channel. I address the likely fact that you have the feeling that every time you click buy, price goes down. Every time you click sell, price goes up. I understand that retail investors, which means you're new to the space, get that feeling. It's very common. I address that and show you how to stop having that feeling and enter trades very profitably with the core idea that I have a statistical, extremely high likelihood of clicking buy and seeing my money in the green, both in the next 5 hours and days after. The second thing this channel does is it helps you take profits like a boss, because among the major mistakes that noobs make is buying and praying. Sure, you can make a decent amount of money doing that if you choose the right coin. However, even if you did choose a coin like Cardano or OMI or whatever, that's a pretty bad strategy. You're missing out on roughly 70% of the money that you can make this bull run, which should only last until December or January. Check out my description section, library videos, the market cycles and crashes. The party won't go on forever. It will end, and it's going to end, within 9 months or so, maybe 8. So it helps you take profits like a boss, so you don't miss out on that 70% earning potential, because buying and praying only takes you a little bit, although it can be profitable, but not nearly as profitable as what cryptillians and crypto crackheads are doing. All right, so anyway, no time to waste. Cryptillians and crypto crackheads, are you ready? Here we go. So in this video, I want to do two things. I want to discuss what I'm seeing market psychology-wise, and then second, I don't want to go over coins, buy, sell levels, and all that stuff, entry points this time. For this Saturday video, I want to address the idea that, since the market is really wishy-washy, this is very tough market to read. I've had some calls on stuff like VIACOIN where I would say, I personally would sell at $1.35 because it looks like it's hitting resistance, and then it like freaking doubles. Mostly piggybacked off of GRS, its sister coin's news. So that doubling was unexpected. But anyway, how to address that. So if you had sold and see price skyrocket, how to address both the feeling and what you do next, so you don't miss out on those gains. So that's the two things I'll do in this video fairly quickly. So, all right, overall market psychology. So the market typically moves, all altcoins typically move with Bitcoin, okay, to a certain degree. When Bitcoin's flying up, altcoins will go on 1,000% runs, stuff to that effect, right? Or 350% runs in 2 days, things to that effect. And when Bitcoin's down, it's very spotty. Only very, very, very few coins do that, but most of the market's down with Bitcoin. What I think might be happening is a mixture of two things. First, this bull run has much more investor money in it, or large investor money. So, from governments buying Bitcoin and Ethereum to hedge funds, stuff that did not exist in high quantities last time. I think larger players are driving this market, and as we're getting to this top, I almost feel that some of them might be calculating that Bitcoin or under $60,000 is not expensive. And I think there is more buy pressure than what I was anticipating. However, there's clearly a lot of sell pressure too, but because those big investors buy and sell against each other. But I think that's one thing, is bigger players in this market. But the second thing I think is happening, so if Ethereum with price existed without Bitcoin, all right, I think it would have easily broken all-time highs and gone, it'd probably be at 2,300 and on its way up by now, because on a technical basis, it really does look like it has a lot of things going for it. And so that thought, in summary, that second thought, mixing with larger players in the space this time, it almost looks like Ethereum is trying to, for the first time ever, break from its grasp of Bitcoin price movement, price action. So it's been a common theme in crypto that, everything moves with Bitcoin, and when will come the day that Ethereum moves by itself, independent of Bitcoin's up and downs? It almost looks like it wants to. Like now, we might be seeing in history the first time that it tries to do it. I think I don't think it's probable, because it's a first and it's never really happened before, but I think, Bitcoin might correct here while Ethereum skyrockets. it could happen. I don't think it's the most likely, but I think we're witnessing what might be happening. And I think, Ethereum's bullishness from the technical standpoint might be what's keeping Bitcoin up when Bitcoin kind of wants to correct anyway. That's kind of my read on stuff. I think Ethereum might be holding up the whole market right now. And the market doesn't know how to respond to that breaking of Ethereum following Bitcoin's, because so it's like an if-then statement. If Ethereum follows Bitcoin and Ethereum up, then Bitcoin up, right? And so I think that then Bitcoin up thought process is kind of what's lifting hopes and buying pressure of Bitcoin, when most of the technicals, through what I'm seeing, are showing that Bitcoin is kind of due for correction, and it's kind of wanting to head that the sell pressure is greater than the buy pressure on Bitcoin. So I think those two things together, we're seeing stuff that I don't think in price action I've ever witnessed before. I think this is potentially a very special moment in cryptocurrency. And I really don't know what to take of it. So, I'm just going to keep playing my small alts and let them kind of work independently of all this magic that's happening in front of our eyes, if you can appreciate it. I know if you're a retail investor, it's hard to look at all these graphs and all that kind of stuff. But I think that might be what's happening. So, from a Bitcoin standpoint, if you go to the 2-day chart, that's a lot of sell pressure right there. Typically when that kind of crap happens and you make some type of hammer looking thing, whether it's red or green, that typically means there are more sellers that entered around this point than there were buyers. So even though the pressure of sellers did not come in until about this point, what happens is as buyers keep wanting to buy, and it just and as it gets to this point, sellers, sideliners become sellers at that point. What I think is going to happen is that those sideliners becoming sellers at this pressure point is going to wear out the buyers. And I think buyers are going to either convert into sellers and or convert into sideliners here. So 3 groups of people: sideliners, buyers, and sellers. However, with this, with new bigger players in the space, hey, don't let him destroy that. Hey, get that dog away from there. Arya, don't let him destroy that. Anyway, I got a Yorkie. My wife got one recently, and they're actually pretty good dogs. But I'm not a huge fan of small dogs, but he's pretty good. Yorkies are a pretty good breed. But anyway, I'm really pleasantly surprised because they're quiet. They're not yippers. That's why I don't like small dogs. But this dog is quiet and relaxed, not hyper. But anyway, so I think that's what's happening. But even though I think the sell pressure right around this point is consistently becoming greater than buy pressure, with the first idea that I had that there are more institutional investors who are interpreting Bitcoin under 60 as cheap, it's possible that the buy pressure ends up wearing out the sellers who keep entering here. And so the sideliners will remain sideliners instead of becoming sellers at this point. And then once Bitcoin officially breaks out and closes a daily candle above here, those then sideliners who were sellers will jump on team buyer and we'll have an explosion up. That is totally possible. So we're in that war right now of who is going to wear out whom first. And this candle wick kind of makes it look like the sellers jumping in are going to wear out the buyers first, but this is a ton of attempts, and I think it might be in part because Ethereum's technicals, it looks like it wants to split from Bitcoin, and that might be enough to have the buyers overpower the sellers here on Bitcoin. So I'm going to keep in my small alts and stay out of, trading perhaps with leverage on larger caps. I'm in a no trade zone for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't know what the hell is happening. It's It could just keep going straight across and let the weekly EMAs catch up. I mean, it really could. So where's the weekly 21 EMA? So when I say stuff like that, new viewers, look at my description section in the library. EMA and all that stuff, I have it's in there. So it's at 42.5, 42.2. It's very hard to read this market. This is an incredible amount of pressure on both sides, and it's fighting within a very tight range, and there's a lot of dynamic, and it's just really pretty to watch. The way I see it. But for me, I play a lot with altcoins during bull markets because there's more money in it, and it's actually serving me quite well. All right, so the second thing I wanted to talk about, something like VIACOIN, especially for my patrons. So most of this green wick, might be mostly due to its sister coin, its main competitor, GrossoCoin, had some news released, and this typically rides off the price of GrossoCoin, or GrossoCoin often rides off the price of VIACOIN increases. It's kind of like, gold and silver prices stay within some ratio, like 1/16 or whatever the case, and silver prices recently have been really depressed to that, and it's like a lot of people have been bullish on silver because they think it's bound to snap up like a rubber band back to that and overshoot it. Actually, that's typically how markets work. Or not scream. So my wife must have brought ice cream or candy. Baby yelling, yay, yay, yay. Anyway, so when this kind of stuff happens, and there's another second thing though. It's completely possible that I simply missed something on VIACOIN, because see this line here? That is an origin line. And look what it did back here. When it was approaching it, it really skyrocketed past and then came to correct. So even if you sold at $1.35, if that sort of thing plays out again, you're going to be able to buy it under $1.35. But perhaps instead of setting, levels and thinking that this yellow line resistance at $1.40, $1.35 was going to hit, I should have, perhaps I missed that play. And so I can't see everything, and I should have seen it, but I didn't think it was going to be that strong, and I thought Bitcoin was going to be going down by now. So, so that's, reflecting, I didn't see that. You always got to think back on what you did when it didn't go right or close to right and think, okay, don't make that mistake in the future. So I missed an origin line play, thinking that it was going to come down with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin didn't come down. So it played it, and I didn't see it coming. So, but what do you do when that happens? Well, if you sold VIA and you want to accumulate VIA, all you do is move that money to something that might be at the bottom of the range, a coin you might know about, like BEPRO, and you dig it at the bottom of the range, and let's see what percentage freaking VIACOIN went up. Oh wait, I can just click over here. What am I doing? Let's see what percentage from this gosh, stop covering my stuff. So it went up about 75%. Well, you can buy the bottom of the range on something like, I'm not suggesting BEPRO necessarily. Oh, look at that. Well, it would have been to hit. Look at that trend line. Anyway, buying it down here, kind of like I did about 2 hours ago, and selling it for about 78% up. See if it meets with some trend line that I don't need to be moving, right? Look at that. 78% at a trend line. So buy it down there, sell it there, get your 80% back so you didn't end up losing it. And once your limit orders sell, by that time, VIACOIN might be going down and correcting. So you actually are better off having sold it too early, because you're gonna be able to increase it here and buy it down lower. There's always another trade. You can't be getting that feeling that I sold and, it's going up. No. There are more than 3 coins in the world. There's always another trade. You can just set up your trading view. That's free. If you're not using trading view, take your hand, look at it, and slap yourself in the face with it. Just set up your watch list. So see where my cursor is, that page? All you do is hit the page thing, hit plus, add your coins. It starts making a list. You can reorder them, move them around, whatever. And all you do is, if something like that happens, okay, buy a coin, okay, I sold too early, just start looking. Just maybe put it on a better time frame, and stop clicking bad things, Tim, that you're not trying to click. So like zoom it where you can see a lot of the graph like this, and start pressing spacebar. what's at the bottom of the range and looks like it could rebound quickly. Well, BEPRO actually was one. That's why I did. Oh, wait, that was BEPRO. You had BTC. I was going to say that one too. This is VIA Silo. That's not necessarily a range. That's hitting the top. That's a retrace. There you go. This one looks like it might. It looks like it might want to play the top of its range. So maybe pick somewhere, maybe pick this lower wick. Let's see what percentage that is. If we're able to snag it down here, put limit buys around there, increase it. Oh, it's also almost 70%, right? Shaw, that's blue sky. Bolt, that's kind of pre-blue sky. Tone, so you can put limit buys down here if it's not quite there yet, but I would personally try to find one where I can market buy because it's ready now. So some of the ones that, I'm saying limit buy for, it might take a few days, and I would rather have my money more immediately. Idea, actually Idea could be one. That could actually want to bounce back up. So let's see. Like just a little less than those. Here, if you market bought it around here, nope, that's only 30%, so I wouldn't use that. OLT, that's kind of more like a breakout coin, which you could play something like that. That kind of looks like it's at the bottom of the range, but then it would be breaking out, not playing a range, so I wouldn't pick that. Cap kind of looks like it's close to the bottom of the range. It's not low enough to market buy it though. That I'm kind of looking for market buy opportunities, and BEPRO was like a perfect one. Nap was too high. West, that could be close, but that's more blue sky breakout territory. I want something more certain, like a range. So this is in the middle of the range. I couldn't market buy it quite yet. This is near the bottom of a range, and then at the top of the range is here. So yeah, that's within like 5%. So if you market bought it, so that's 60%, right? So you can get that percentages back, folks. That's what I'm like. There's always another trade, okay? So just start pressing spacebar, see what's at the bottom of the range, because ranges are typically more like level of certainty over something like DAPT that is ranging, but then it might break out, blue sky breakouts. That is, like, in my opinion, less statistically certain. So if you sell too early and want to chase green candles of VIACOIN, no, just chase red candles of a range and go sell it for roughly the same amount of percentage you lost out on. And by the time that sells, this new range coin, whatever you're hunting, VIACOIN should be much lower, and you go buy it and lower. So you get actually more than the percentage you missed out on, right? Do you see what I'm saying? There's always another trade. So don't feel bad about selling too early. Same with Veracity. There's always another trade. How much has Veracity gone up, right? Since the last time I said I would sell. Okay. It's actually still going up. So I was wrong on that one. Shit, but it's hitting the top of its range. It's ranging out. Did I expect it to hit that top of the range? No, but it's filling out the range, which means it might actually not come back below this. But when it was here, that's only 10% above. I can easily make more than 10% somewhere else, and I probably already would have done it because these are all days. I could easily do that in 3 days, right? But how much is it above now? Only 55. So I could get more than 55% in this amount of time that this is happening with other coins with more gas in it that didn't just do 3,000%. So if you sold Veracity here and you feel bad about selling it, it's barely moved. Other stuff is moving way bigger than this. Go put it in something that's going to move bigger. Come back to see what Veracity is doing. With the thought that it hasn't moved as big as what you just bought and sold quickly. Because it had gas in the tank. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to avoid that feeling of feeling bad about selling. If you sell at a profit, you go see what's next. The play is what's next. Don't feel bad that there's green candles going. Forget about it. Go find something at the bottom of the range or something that's about ready to break out. For example, if Bolt were approaching its upper resistance and looks like it's flirting with it, but it's not. If Bolt were doing something like this actually would be better than buying a range. If it were doing something like that, poking its head out, and then it closed a 4-hour candle, that would be a better buy than even a range, but those are harder to find. And you got to be kind of in tune with a lot of coins to kind of find those. But anyway, there's always another trade. That's what that saying means. If you sold profitably, there's no other feeling than happiness. Now, if you were restricted to buying something like gold and silver, and you lost out, yeah, maybe feel bad because you have to wait now, you know, or go short and be risky. But there's this playground is so big. Go find something with gas in it and go check back VIACOIN or go check back Veracity, you know, a little later after you almost double your money in a range. But that's statistically very probable to happen. Don't have that feeling. I'm telling you. You took profit like a boss. You were profit pimping. Now, you know, don't start forming tiers. That's still green. Who cares? Get off that graph and go hunt for the next move. That's what you do. Go hunt. Don't start crying. Don't start crying. Okay? Go hunt. All right, that's all I got. So I guess you got like 3/4 Timified. All right, we'll see y'all later. Have a good weekend. Don't stare at the charts too much. New viewers, if you liked what you saw, if you end up subscribing, let me know if you want to be a cryptillion or a crypto crackhead. I like my folks to choose their crypto pronoun, gender neutral, and also definitely check out my library videos and watch them on ×2 or 1.5 speed, whatever's comfortable for you, so you can get through that content more quickly. And we'll see you next time.